Hi, everybody. I'm Rana, and I'm here with Hamza, also Michael and Jeff. And this is the next installment of the Park Slope Food Co-op Cooking Committee cooking class. And today, Hamza Iqbal is going to teach us a little bit about Pakistani comfort food. So I'm going to turn it right over to him.
Thanks, Rana, Michael, and Jeff. I'm super excited. So we're making two things today. And we'll try to keep it very social. So feel free to drop comments in chat and we can discuss things. We can go back to cover anything you might have missed. The recipes today are really simple, I think. And one of them is a stew called halim. And then the other thing we're making is Kashmiri chai, also called noon or pink tea, pink for the color. And noon means salted tea in Kashmiri, which is the language kind of native to that area. And let's get started. So first we're gonna start with the lentils specific to the halim recipe. There's quite a few. We have the black lentil, orange, yellow, split chickpeas, and oats. It is kind of carb heavy, helps you kind of, I guess, recharge and relax, but then to balance that off, we have a lot of meat. And I'll start chopping onions.
Hamza, can you explain a little bit about the oats, which seems like the odd man out in this collection of legumes?
So initially, the way this recipe transformed over time, it was supposed to be harissa, which is a Middle Eastern dish, and they used to make it with wheat. And then the South Asian version is called halim, and that uses lentil and oats instead of wheat.
Wheat, like a bulgur or something like that?
Yeah, I think there's another word for that, where it's like a big chunk of the kernel, and it takes a while to cook. And it's also not commonly eaten in South Asia. So this is, like many foods, a fusion of cultures and history. Yeah.
Yeah. And are these just like long cooking oats, or are they the instant?
Rolled oats, yeah. But you could use either. We're really sort of doing something that's closer to a soupy texture. Doesn't really matter what you do at this stage, right? You can soak them if you're cooking them in a pot. If you're cooking them in an Instant Pot, which you should, or use any other brand, because it cooks faster and higher temperatures. You also don't have to worry about the pot drying up. So we're going to put about 2 to 3 tablespoons or a quarter cup of oil. This is not something that we can add later, so this is really it. Also to make sure that the bottom of the pot is coated, so it doesn't stick. And yeah. So I've chopped the onions, half an onion, not all of it. We're gonna save the other half for the garnish.
And do you prefer red onion, or that's just what you grabbed?
So culturally, we use more red onion than white. And
are you crying? Yeah, I'm gonna fan.
Thank you.
Fanning.
Yeah.
I have goggles. Do you want my onion goggles? They're purple.
I've never tried those. It's hard to see when you're crying, you know?
Supposedly, if you light a match, that's also good for onion fumes.
Oh. They used to say that chewing on gum or something helped, but never worked for me.
Never for me. Or the bread in the mouth never worked for me.
Oh, there's also like keeping the onion in the fridge for a bit. Apparently, it was supposed to help. But yeah, I don't know if I read correctly a long time ago, but apparently this is the defense mechanism of the onion plant. Things you learn at the co-op cooking squad class, right? It really comes down to evolution, survival of the fittest,
That's right.
nutrition, right? A little bit. Yeah, so just really casual about chopping things because we are going to put an immersion blender into the pot. Yeah.
So everything gets blended, I guess, besides the chicken, of course.
Yeah, the chicken goes into the food processor. Yeah, we don't really care much about texture except that strands from the or fibers from the chicken need to stick out when you've blended everything. Note on the garlic, I think there's so many ways to save money in life, but buying garlic that's not the best quality is the worst way to save money. Yeah. Any thoughts on that?
And buying garlic that's pre-chopped, also a terrible budget decision.
Yeah. I mean, they probably have preservatives in it, so
yeah.
Oh, we don't have that, right? We don't have peeled or
I
chopped
don't think so.
garlic.
I don't know, actually. I guess I never really looked.
We have 1B, and then we have organic.
Although I have actually, if I had a surplus of garlic, I have before put a bunch in the food processor with some oil and then froze it. I thought otherwise it would go to waste. Option B.
And there can never be enough garlic. So
you're using like 4 or 5 cloves?
Yeah, we got like a tiny little garlic and we were using, I guess, all of it.
Knife skills on view.
So we've got this so far.
Does that go in our pots?
Garlic. Okay, so we're gonna start with the onions.
Okay. Frozen, see?
So what we want to do is start with the onions because they take a while. And then the garlic cooks really fast. Okay. So Rana, if you want to help me with stirring.
Sure.
I think they're more flavorful than white. I think white onion also has its place in cooking, but for most South Asian dishes, we usually use red. Yeah. So we're gonna clean things up as we go.
So this is a good amount of oil. They're kind of swimming a little bit in it.
Oh, that's perfect.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm gonna reach out for some items here.
And I guess if you were to use something like a Dutch oven, this is actually kind of a small surface. So it's like small and tall. So it probably holds in a lot of the moisture.
Hopefully. Really just an easy dish, not very demanding, and it's hard to go wrong with it. But I don't want to speak too soon.
We still have 50 minutes left, I mean.
Okay, so we're gonna That's enough garlic for now. We will go back in with the garlic with the garnish. How are folks at home? Is everyone able to follow? Any questions?
So the ginger also slicing, but like you said, everything's going to be pureed at the end. It's just a matter of everything cooking through.
Yeah, just being able to cook it faster, right? Okay, this looks great. So we're going to dump the ginger and the garlic into the Instant Pot. Perfect. Thanks, Rana.
Yeah.
And gonna thinly slice the rest of the onion for garnish. We're gonna fry it, save it for later.
Ooh.
This really is the garnish, the cherry on top, right? Or the fried onion on top. I know that in French cuisine they'll use a lot of fried onions, right?
They can, yeah.
Um,
In this case, for the garnish, it's going to be the onion and the garlic.
Oh, and the ginger.
And the ginger on top.
So, and then the lemon.
Another question.
Hmm.
What is your opinion on using ginger garlic paste?
Mm.
I think it's perfectly fine, and it's easier to do that for all of us. If I had it at the co-op, I would have used it, but yeah, I didn't find it.
Yeah, sometimes they do. They have it, at least the ginger, they sometimes have it
Okay.
frozen, which is nice in little individual
Okay.
portions.
So this is for the garnish that we will save for later. We're gonna chop our Roma tomatoes. We're supposed to get 2 medium. So we got 3 small ones, right? I'm good at math, I guess, right? It's probably gonna be around the same quantity.
And keeping the seeds in the tomatoes, all of that's okay?
Yeah,
Okay.
everything.
Great. That's also for the stew or for the garnish?
For this too.
Okay. And these are great. They're not getting brown, but they're like cooking slowly. Is that what you want?
Mm-hmm.
And you used canola oil or
Yeah.
like a vegetable oil. That's your preference.
So canola or sunflower, anything that's neutral. I think olive oil definitely has a flavor. So we would want to avoid it. And yeah. I think also the focus on a lot of South Asian homestyle cooking is affordability and just access to everyday things that you have in the house, right? You're also cooking for larger kind of families and really for the whole household, which is a lot more people. So kind of keeping it simple. I feel like our culture, food culture would be different if families were smaller and you had more time to kind of, you know. So yeah, the seeds are in, everything's just thrown in.
Mm-hmm.
Spices, I guess, is how we compensate.
Yeah, very much.
Yeah.
So it's getting a little bit brown around the edges.
Yeah. So we're gonna put in the tomatoes, just roughly chopped.
Yeah.
And then we should be ready to add the chicken.
This is so nice because the tomatoes like stop the onions from browning, and it's all becoming really juicy. Yeah, it's incredible. The smell.
Okay. So I'm going to look for a teaspoon and add the spices to the oil so the oil carries the aromatics. We have garam masala and red chili and salt.
Here's a teaspoon.
You can add pepper towards the end of the recipe as needed.
We'll take a look at this. You can even see the oil has that tomato color. This is what my clothes are going to smell like.
For days.
Yeah.
So we've got a teaspoon and a half of chili. Actually, a little more because I like spicy food. I guess we're going off the plan.
Yes, please.
Okay. So, and then we're gonna do garam masala. So garam masala has a bunch of spices in it. Garam means like hot, like not spicy, but like hot from the heat, right? So we're gonna do a heaped teaspoon of this, maybe a little more. Because lentils don't have much flavor, let's be honest, outside of the spices. Okay, so now we should be ready to put in 1 green chili.
Ooh.
Fun fact, the thinner the chilies are, the spicier they are. So if you prefer something that's less heat, I guess, big one that's like a bit bigger in size. The thinner ones, yeah, they can kill.
It's delicious.
Okay, so now we're ready to add the chicken.
And I'm assuming that all these spices in here are toasting as they go. Is there a reason why they go in after the onion and the garlic and not before? I think about a lot of recipes where I start off toasting the spices.
So because like we're very casual with cooking times, you know, and the level of like frying the onions, we want to make sure that the spices don't burn in the oil, right? Just enough time in the oil for the flavors to release. And you know it's happening because you can smell it on your phones.
On my
phone. So now we're adding the chicken. This is about 2.5 pounds of chicken.
If somebody's doing this at home, do they need a partner to stir constantly?
No.
How about to poke fun of that when they're cooking?
we definitely need support on snacking while we're cooking. Yeah, so you could use thin or the bigger ones, but look without them being sliced, but it would just take longer.
You don't have to worry about cutting them evenly or anything like that.
No. So yeah, we had about 2.5 pounds. But we're probably used around 2 pounds, so a kilogram, right? I know we have co-op members from a bunch of different backgrounds, so I'm gonna try to.
That's right. Metric.
Yeah. Okay. So the next steps are for us to just have this cooked enough that sort of it turns it's like a bit browner. Their texture is a bit browner, and then we add the lentils and the bone. Okay.
Do you want to kind of leave it and let it brown? Should I back away? Like hands off, Rana?
Yeah. So while that happens, I'm just gonna chop things that we could use for the garnish, right? We have a lemon. This is a massive lemon. Usually in South Asia, we get like really tiny lemons. Yeah. So you just get 4 wedges from 1 lemon. Yeah, you could, I guess, do slices. So this really is for garnish.
It's a cute little bowl, right?
It is cute. Okay, and we're gonna chop the green chilies also for garnish.
What kind of chilies are they? Do you know? They're like a light green color.
Starts with an S.
Are those serrano?
Anyone in the comments? I mean, in the live chat, able to?
Yeah, I don't think it's a serrano, but it's like vegetal.
Someone suggested shishito.
Yes.
Right, shishito. It is a shishito.
10 points for both of our viewers, and they can redeem those points for. I mean, there has to be something, right?
A big prize if you stay to the end.
Oh,
to be revealed.
I thought they were getting a store credit or something, you know, more.
I can't authorize that. Although shishitos, because shishitos, like 1 out of 7 is super hot. So, you know, I just risked my life for the sake of you and your show. Nice start.
Thank you. We're just trying to make sure everyone's safe, right? And Rana's making sure that we're doing the right things and make things safe.
Oh, look at this. So this is like, that's good, a little bit of browning on the bottom. Yum.
Yeah.
Okay, come take a look.
So if you're cooking it in a regular pot, browning at the bottom is a concern. In an Instant Pot, it really just sort of lifts itself up.
Yeah.
But yeah, so what we're gonna do in general.
So it's not burning at all, just browning.
So what we could do at this point is we could put our bone broth, chicken with chicken, beef with beef, right? With fish, you will not put seawater in. It's a bad joke, but
Michael's laughing.
okay, one.
That's our laugh track.
Solid. So we're gonna put all the lentils in. The oats we could do at the end or in the beginning. If you're doing an Instant Pot, it's better to do it at the end because it might be too thick for the steam to develop within the pot, right? So now we're gonna add all the 4 lentils, save the oats for later. And then we're gonna add all of this carton. You can use 4 to 6 cups. This is 4 cups. We wanna make sure the lentils are submerged. So lentils going in.
The question here, there's seven. Just repeat the question was.
The question is, if you want to use tofu and seitan instead of chicken, what would you do differently?
So tofu I have heard of and had multiple times. I'm not familiar with.
It's another soy product. No,
Okay.
seitan's not soy. Wheat product. Thank you.
Okay.
That do not require the kind of cooking that chicken does.
So I'm not familiar with that, to be honest. But tofu would not really survive the pot. Maybe you could like put it on top, right, to just add more protein. But I would also be a bit cautious of the amount of carbs in this dish already, right? So just being able to balance that out helps. We'll get a view of the pot with all the lentils.
So pretty.
How much lentils do you?
It's like candy corn color, right?
So it's like, so we have half a cup of red, half a cup black, half a cup of the yellow, and then a full cup of the split pea. And so one way to speed up this recipe is to heat up the bone broth or whatever kind of liquid. You could cook it with water too. Is to heat that up separately so the Instant Pot doesn't take that long to pressurize. We could do a bit of both actually. We could add some here. And then the rest of it, we'll put it in a pot and bring it to a boil before we add it.
We like that.
Yeah.
Let's see.
So,
And that reminds me of just like if you were to braise, put this in a braising pot at home, you would typically add the liquid hot, just like you're saying here.
Something that goes with
Hold togetherness. So the question is, what if you used cauliflower instead of chicken?
So you could you
The
would
stump Hamza.
You would want the texture of the fibers from the chicken breast or from the beef, right? Ultimately in the stew, and you want to be able to taste that texture because the rest of it is lentil and kind of a paste. So in terms of texture, you might not win, but if you prefer cauliflower, I think that could add flavor. Overall, though, we've had a lot of carbs already, so I think that is something to consider for a lot of people with concerns about blood sugar. You want to make sure you're doing enough, adding enough protein and fat along with carbs, so your body or your blood sugar doesn't spike. I like cauliflower. This is not me being against cauliflower, but yeah, just something to think about.
And cauliflower, while it's sturdier, also might not survive the cooking this long. Do you think it would
100%,
fall apart? Okay. What about? Okay, you're gonna tell me no more carbs, but what about
no more
carbs? But what about potatoes? Or right? What if somebody wanted to have something a little bit more than lentils and they opted for potatoes? Is that something that they could maybe add to the pot? And just in other words, is there like a little bit of flexibility with this? And I know the potatoes don't have the strands of the meat either.
That is a concern, and no carbs. But no, I think for a lot of South Asian cooking, there's either vegan options, which is more of a religious sort of belief, or to have vegetarian food or vegan food in India. In Pakistan, culturally, you either have dishes that are sort of vegetarian, like vegetables straight up, or you have stuff with meat and poultry or fish. And people kind of choose based on what they want to cook, right? Like they won't do adaptations. So I'm not very well versed in that. Yeah, and like South Asia, there's so many different beliefs and dietary preferences, right? You've got Jain Hindus, to my knowledge, they don't eat root vegetables, which is also an ethical consideration, right? In more Punjabi, Pakistani cuisine, root vegetables are, you know, the bread and butter of what you're making. So it really varies a lot, and people choose recipes based on the main ingredient they want to have. Substitution is not very big in that way.
That makes a lot of sense. It looks like most of the liquid has been absorbed.
Right. So we're going to do 1 cup rolled oats at the end. We're going to do 1 cup of split chickpeas, chana dal, and half a cup of each of red, yellow, and black lentil. And we're just going to quickly check on this. Yeah. And seems like it's drying up.
Yeah.
So we'll add more water actually here. Ultimately, we're trying to reach a cake batter kind of pasty texture by the end of it. Yeah.
Sure.
It's all about like a cup or a cup and a half. It's all about the texture that you have it by the end of it, really. Okay, so
just a little bit of the liquid at a time, not all at once.
Oh, all at once is fine too.
I mean, excluding this.
Yeah, we just want this to heat up so the Instant Pot pressurizes sooner. But other than that, it's pretty chill.
Gotcha.
Okay, so that's for the end. We're gonna get started on Kashmiri chai. For the chai recipe, we have 1 cinnamon stick, 1 star anise, and then we were supposed to have 5 to 6 pods of cardamom, but we have the shells off. That's the one we're able to find. We have almonds and pistachios crushed for garnish. And then we have what is called gunpowder green tea, which is the leaves rolled up. And as we boil it, it's going to sort of unravel, I guess, or just open up. We have about 6 tablespoons of this. And we'll start with that. Okay. We need salt for the tea because that's sort of customary in Central Asia, and Kashmir is not in Central Asia, if someone wants to, you know, attack me. But I guess there must be some influences, or people in Kashmir like to add salt to their tea. Traditionally, it's served with salt, not sugar, but things have changed.
Wow.
And the way it's popularized now, people like to add sugar. So we're going to get started on that. We'll get a saucepan.
I don't think I've ever heard of another kind of tea where people add sugar or people add salt.
So we're gonna do 3 cups of water. I'm gonna get 3 cups of water actually. Oh yeah. You don't have to really measure. Oh, I guess it's perfect. So 3 cups of water and the rest of it too. It's all casual, really. Okay, so 3 cups of water, cardamom pods, 5 to 6, but we have this number of estimated, what do we call them? Little seeds, I guess?
Yeah. Is it like a few, 2 to 3 per pod generally?
I would say about 6 to 8 is my estimate.
Oh, no
from
kidding.
my
That
past
many.
life
Okay.
experiences, but I guess they could differ. So we put in the cardamom, 3 cups of water, cinnamon stick, crushing it just so. Yes, so the way South Asians are. Oh yeah, So is this tea different from store-bought chai? That is a question. And chai, in I guess Pakistani cultural context, the one I could speak to is tea of any kind. It could be with milk or without milk. But I think from what I understand in the US context, chai is the kind of tea that you have with milk. And the store-bought version is going to have a mixture of somewhat of a concentrate of the brewed tea with some spices. So any kind of chai in the South Asian context could be chai, right? Any kind of tea could be chai. And there's lots of different versions with milk and without milk. Some with spices, some just brewed with the leaves.
Hamza, would you like this added?
Yes, please.
All of it?
Yeah.
Okay.
So we're adding the rest of the chicken stock. And what we want to make sure is that there's enough liquid that everything is submerged.
Okay.
Someone here suggested that concentrate usually store-bought.
That is a perfect answer. And if you were the person, oh, sorry, the question asked was, or the comment made was that chai, store-bought chai is pre-sweetened. That is correct. And you get an additional 10 points if you're the same person. I guess like so far this person is winning the prize.
The prize, the big prize at the end.
Yeah. So okay, so we got 3 cups of water, 1 star anise. They make alcohol with this in the Middle East, by the way, so that's not what we're doing.
Yeah.
But we don't do that in Pakistan. Some history there. But anyway, okay. So 1 star anise, 5 to 6 pods of cardamom, broken, 1 cinnamon stick, also broken, crushed. And then we bring it to a boil over medium heat, which is what we will be doing here. Okay.
And do we leave the lid off of this?
Yes. So what we're gonna do is like, I'm just gonna check if there's enough water in this for it to steam, and I'm probably gonna add about 1.5 cups because there's no going back, right? It would take a while. So I'm gonna.
Want me to do that?
Yeah. So we're gonna do 1.5 cups of water and do 15 minutes of pressure cooking, or about 12 minutes. Actually, we'll do 12. So, okay, the water has been added. There's nothing sticking to the pot, just some Instant Pot safety. And then we're gonna put the lid on. We are going to pressure cook it, sealed, obviously.
About 25 minutes.
Perfect. So we are going to pressure cook high heat, okay? So we're gonna do, let's say 12 minutes. We also need some time for it to depressurize, right? Sealed position.
Asking about your experience with dry lentils that are beyond.
I think I would want to check for, so lentils, yes, the question asked was about lentils beyond their expiration date, dry lentils. My concern would be just checking if there's nothing growing within, right? Sometimes there are little bugs in it or something of that sort. Try to wash it, soak it, see if the residue is close to what it would be if the lentils were fresh. But yeah, I think legal disclaimer, right? If we can show a legal disclaimer on food safety. But yeah, hopefully you will be fine.
Don't try this at home.
So what's happening right now is the pressure cooker is cooking the lentils and the chicken. And really this is the second last step. Next, what we're gonna be doing is waiting for the chai to come to a boil. This was the green tea leaves, star anise, cardamom, cinnamon, okay? Yeah, we're gonna bring it to a boil. That's what we're waiting for. And once that happens, we will add baking soda, which makes it pink. Really is green tea, but it becomes pink. Think of it as pink matcha. I don't know. The matcha is more powdered. This is just brewed tea, steeped.
Wow.
We will be using 1 teaspoon of baking soda, not powder. Okay, double check it. If we could have another teaspoon, that would be amazing. So the question asked was like the like whole lentils not softening easily, right? Old. Yeah, that is, I think, a very fair comment. It would take longer for them to cook. I think soaking them would help. I don't know if what I'm about to say is like science, but some people say that soaking lentils helps with your body's ability to digest the carbs in them. So there's that too, I guess.
Right.
Little nugget for the lentil fans.
Another question. If you're using a stove top, you cover the pot.
So the question asked was, if you're not cooking this in an Instant Pot, how would you do it? Like, how long would you cook it? We want the lentils to be soft. The chicken really is kind of easy to tenderize, right? So we're really just looking for the lentils to soften. Depends on the heat, like the flame, if you have the lid on or not. And
you'd recommend the lid on, probably.
Yeah. But you have to kind of watch it, right? Like you don't want it to bubble up. So probably around like 30 to 40 minutes. The chana dal takes longer. The split pea takes longer than the rest of the lentils. So what we're gonna do is prepare the garnish, which is frying the onions. And we're just gonna fry it and get it ready for later. Not really challenging, so you might not get more updates on that. Okay, so
again, that's like a good, healthy pour of oil.
yeah, so it is a lot of
wrong with that.
Oil.
Yeah.
So I just picked a smaller pan, and so I'm hoping we could do a lot more onions in that. I guess that's why I choose to do more oil. But I'm gonna appoint Rana here for frying the onions. Really, the second last step before burning them is what we're after.
Okay. So I'm just waiting for the oil to get hot enough. It's running really loosely in the pan, and I'm just testing out. If it doesn't start to bubble up right away, then it's not hot enough. It's not a deep fry, but it will give me a sense that it's hot enough for me to add the rest of the onions.
Meanwhile, the green tea has come to a boil. We will add about a teaspoon of baking soda. We might add more. We're looking for a reddish tint.
Question: Is your chai always made with gunpowder?
So we got the question, is Kashmiri chai always made with gunpowder green tea? It's just made with loose leaf green tea, and there's a local version of it, which you can also find at like South Asian grocery stores. But it's not very different from generic gunpowder green tea. Right now, the colors you see is greenish grayish. This will turn to reddish, as you kind of see. And we might need to add more water to it.
And is it affecting the flavor as well?
I haven't had it be like without the baking soda, so I wouldn't be able to tell.
Right.
So I imagine there has to be a bit of a flavor profile change. So as you can see, it's already red, so that is a win. I was a bit stressed out about this, right? But
ooh.
And then when we heat it with milk, it is going to be pink.
Question, how much baking soda is added to the cake?
So about a teaspoon and a half of baking soda is what we added to the tea. That was the question, the amount of baking soda added. We're gonna add some more water just so it doesn't stick. I think we're in that part of the cooking class where it seems like it's like a British cooking show, you know? There's not much time left. I'm the only one to blame. I'm gonna use some water. Is tap water fine?
Yep.
Question, what is the baking soda?
So we got the question, what does the baking soda do? And there's some science involved. I'm sure I'm not very informed on that, but there's a chemical reaction that changes the color. I haven't had it without the baking soda, so I don't know what it does to the taste. But it turns the tea from greenish, grayish to reddish. And that it has done. So
Danielle say baking soda is
as you can
That-
see, the color is a pinkish reddish.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so the good thing about green tea is, chai, sorry, is that once you make this mixture and you make it into a concentrate, you add the salt, everything's ready. You can just mix it with hot milk or non-dairy milk, I guess, if you'd like. And you could keep it for a week. So you can keep sort of mixing that in the same way you
Ah.
would make chai with a store-bought chai mix.
Right, that concentrate or yeah.
Yeah. And the reason it's special is because it's a bit more complicated than your typical tea. It's usually made in like massive portions or sizes for weddings. Yeah, so we have about 10 minutes left on the halim. We're gonna do an immersion blend on the lentil, put the lentils into the food processor, mix that up, ready to serve. And then we'll put the fried onions on top and that's it. For the
And I just you're saying the immersion blender for the lentils, but did you mean the chicken in here?
yeah, so
Yeah.
we'll
And then
use
combine.
tongs to put the chicken in. Once both of them are sort of treated, processed, mix them together, garnish, and then that's it.
Amazing.
Yeah, so we're doing pretty well on time, I would say, at this point. Yeah. And so we would put some ice into the chai mixture. That helps bring out the color even more, although it's kind of done it already. But that's just conventionally how it is done. Yeah, could be embarrassing if there's no reason to do it. But yeah.
You can just say.
So we added about 5 big cubes of ice, turned up the heat. And that's that.
Right, and it's so concentrated, so it's not going to lose that flavor.
We want to get the pink color in. Oh, so we're asked the, I'm sorry, I'm bad at this. So we got this question. Thank you. We got the question, why do we have to like cook the tea for a while? And that has to do with getting the color out and also more of the flavor. We are making a concentrate out of it, so we also have to try to dry it up a little bit. Not dry, but have less volume for the concentrate. We're at this point, we'll also add about like 2 pinches of salt. We might add more later. Think of it as a salted chocolate kind of dessert. That amount of salt is what you're looking for. Just enough that you notice it, right? So yeah, we are going to turn up the heat on this. And then if we could have this.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to boil some milk. I'm using lactose-free because reasons, but you could use non-dairy milk. It wouldn't give you the same amount of fat, and fat is flavor, so you would be missing out. But yeah, I mean, okay. So just as a guesstimate, we'll probably have about like 2 parts milk to 1 part chai concentrate, right? And right now we're doing it for the studio team. We have about 10 minutes, and that is enough. So I'm gonna take the last few minutes as we finish up to cut.
What is the color of the tea?
The color of the tea matter. So we got the question, why does the color of the tea matter? It does not. But
It's so fun though.
It's fun. I think in the way the recipe is sort of shared between people, that's the sort of marker of it being cooked enough, right? For it having enough like flavor from the green tea. So it's one of those things where like the color or the texture signals that it's been done right. Yeah. What I'm doing right now is chopping or like slicing the ginger really thin, and hopefully not my finger, just to garnish it. And this is the typical way that it's garnished, with really thin little matchstick kind of, yeah, thinner than a matchstick. If it's too thick, you won't like it.
And do you cook the ginger as well?
No, it's just on top.
Oh, nice.
So let's be super thin. Yeah, that's a good amount of ginger. How are we doing on time, Rana? Am I gonna get in trouble with a co-op for a class?
Not gonna get in trouble. We have 7 minutes on our Instapot, 6 minutes on our Instapot,
Okay.
and about 10 minutes in class. Maybe we'll push it a minute or two to watch it all come together.
Okay, so
the onions are done, I think. Do you want to check?
Yeah, that's perfect. So we are gonna put them in a metal bowl because that's not gonna burn. So we have this.
Oh, we don't have to dirty another dish.
Yeah. So some people, what they'll do is like splash the hot oil into the halim for more fat and flavor. They could put ghee into it, or butter. We might do it, I don't know. But ultimately, you want to make sure that the onions aren't burnt. That is a separate garnish. So all of what you see here is the garnish, as well as the garam masala, which you sprinkle. Everyone does their own garnish. So the mom or the dad or whoever's cooking, they're not supposed to do it. Everyone does their own. Okay. So we have 5 minutes left, and we'll check on the tea.
Milk is scalded.
Okay. I'm gonna take away things we don't need. Just doing some cilantro, aka coriander, is what we as in people in South Asia call it. I think it's funny that people in the US use coriander for coriander seeds, but cilantro for, I don't know.
Makes no sense, but yes. And then people don't know it's from the same plant.
There's that. I mean, I like cilantro, coriander, whatever you want to call it. Just a little bit of green. We're going to throw this into the pot just as we finish off. And now we're going to get ready with how we're going to be displaying this for you guys, right? So 4 minutes on the Instant Pot. This is the garnish, and this is the bowl for the halim. And then, yeah.
And the tea has still been cooking this whole time, right?
Yeah. So we're just gonna make sure that the milk doesn't bubble over.
Okay.
For time constraints, we don't have time to, I guess, toast these, but we would. We would serve with naan or pita or rice, I guess, but it's already too many carbs. People also have it just without anything else. So like a stew, rice, no, soup. Wow.
Question, what's the best non-stuff to do to
I think you get frozen paratha or frozen rotis, right? Like really flat bread without yeast. That's a good option. But if you're worried about carbs with naan, I guess you could like do a smaller serving. Yeah. So we're just gonna check on the tea. Really red. It's sort of like red wine, right?
Oh, it is like red wine. That's so cool.
So if you want to preserve it for longer, like keep it for longer, I would say add sugar to taste at this point, just so it's sort of mixed into it. We're not going to do that. I guess we could add our own sugar. But yeah, so this, when you strain this, is what you would store at home for a week in your fridge. And then you heat up the milk, 1 part tea to 2 parts milk, and that's it, right? Yeah.
Someone here comments that the only worry about carbs is they're afraid they're not get.
Oh.
And a number of people are.
Yeah.
That is a concern, I guess, for some. We have oats too that we could add. I guess it's also optional. We could add some to mix it up, but we'll probably need a bit of time, around 5-ish minutes. Adds more texture. Again, more carbs that someone would like to have. Yeah.
So we would add it at this point or after this is finished?
After it's finished, and we would just cook it without the pressure. So however long like rolled oats would take to is what we would do.
Okay, we might be a little short on time, but
so at this point we will strain the chai mixture, and for that I will get a strainer, and then I will get a saucepan. Does that sound good?
To strain it into, or do you want to have that measuring cup so you can pour it?
Glass.
Here, yep.
Okay, so we're gonna strain the chai mixture, take the leaves out and the spices out, put it in this. I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna do that here.
Oh yeah, it's like a brownish red, like you said, like wine.
Okay, so that is that 2 parts, 1 part this to 2 parts milk. Okay, a lot of things are happening. So Rana, if we could have 2/3 of this cup with hot milk. Actually, half of it.
Okay.
We're trying to hit the right color for the chai. The ratio might change. It's all in sort of an estimation.
Here you go.
Okay, perfect. So we're gonna release the pressure on this. Oh, careful, you wanna be. So the audio might be messed up for a bit. And what we're gonna do is look for the right color. So this is the right color for the mix. We'll put a little more milk into it. And yep, so there you go. And we would garnish it with pistachios. Some of them will float, others will be crunchy in the bottom, and that's really how it goes. Usually if you cook with a lot of milk, or you cook the milk long enough, there's going to be a layer of cream on top, and that's going to keep the pistachios and almonds afloat, but this is amazing. What we're gonna do is we're gonna add sugar and serve it to one of the people in the studio, you know. But this is the recipe. So,
Beautiful. It's like a dusty rose color.
so this is what you will save for up to a week.
Beautiful.
And that's the recipe. So we will.
If you want to sweeten the tea, you would.
Yeah, we're gonna add sugar to taste. Also, other thing about South Asia, a lot of people are diabetic. It has to do with the amount of carbs we eat, as you can see. So people add their own sweeteners and sugars. We don't really, usually in our household, I guess, don't put in sugar while we're cooking. So yeah, cause and effect, right? Okay. So this is done. We're gonna put it here. And then I think this is that part of the cooking class where there's like sweeping views and really good camera angles and all that amazing stuff. Okay, so what's happening with the halim is the oats, we can add it and just cook the oats into it. I know we have this one carb loving person, so we'll do that for you. But on this occasion, I think we're gonna skip the oats, or should we?
Maybe skip it if you think that we can still get the same idea, just for the sake of time and for people who might need to hop off.
100%. So what we're gonna do is, as soon as we hear the steam sort of done, we're gonna take the chicken out, and Rana is gonna have me blend the chicken into shreds, and I'm gonna use a hand blender, blend the halim, put everything in, garnish, done. So
May I unplug this?
yeah.
Okay.
The good part about owning an Instant Pot or other brand is that it opened only when it's safe to do so. You can't like force it to open. And that's what a lot of people are doing. Yes, in my sister's recipe, they are typical, and a lot of people do add them. Not everyone, but it's common. A lot of people would just do lentils and meat or chicken. So we're right at 8:30, but this will be a few more minutes for people who absolutely need to hop off. The lentils will get blended with a immersion blender. The chicken gets taken out, shredded, everything combined again, and garnished with onions, lemon wedges or slices, green chili, garam masala, and coriander. Okay.
Do you use other protein besides
So beef is really common, and mutton or goat is really, really sort of well liked, appreciated in our culture. No, fish wouldn't survive. We're really looking for that sort of strand. Okay, so I'm gonna have. I mean, we already see the obviously the chicken breasts are tender and ready. Once we've blended everything, put it back in together, we'll check for salt. We already put chicken stock in it, bone broth. So depending on the brand, you might have to adjust the recipe.
Do you ever use chicken thighs?
Not really, but because of the same reason that you wouldn't get the shreds, right? As well as you would with the chicken breast. Okay. Looking good. Okay, so it seems like we have all of the chicken in here. I'm just gonna quickly
Got
try to help from Rana. Doing that. Meanwhile, I will. Wow. So immersion blender in the lentils. Okay, that's good enough.
Oh, look at that. Oh, it's like the witching hour.
Okay, so this out. Oops. Okay, no, nothing happened.
Ooh.
Okay, so we're gonna mix the chicken into the lentil and the cilantro on top, and that is that.
Let me do that.
Any recommended green tea brands?
I chose to do with like the bulk gunpowder green tea. I'm not very familiar with green tea brands here. I don't drink much green tea. But there are local, I mean, there are at Indian or South Asian grocery stores, there are brands that have specifically packaged Kashmiri chai. And Himani, Hemani, seems to be a popular brand. I've had it once or twice. But the gunpowder green tea we have bulk section was amazing. That's what we used. You will get the same results as we did. So there's a lot of chicken fibers as we see in that. And yeah, we had just the right amount of everything.
Wow. They just sort of like absorb
Mhm.
the lentils and the sauce, and
So
I can see why you would serve it with bread.
Getting
actually, me, okay, that's a welcome comment. We're gonna
make better
we got a comment, meow, which we appreciate. So adding some cilantro here. This is a bit thicker actually than usual. If we had a bit more time, we'd put the oats in and some water and let it thicken. But the thing with this is once you store it, it's gonna get thicker in the fridge and it's gonna end up being like this. So you're always adjusting texture with water. Yeah, you could do that. You could add onion and the fried onions and butter or more fat into it. So should we do a smaller bowl? Okay. So a bit like 5 minutes everything. Not bad. We're ready to do for that. Thanks for being there. Yeah. So we have a single serving bowl we're gonna fill up. Really a bit thinner, like a bit more runny. So you can sort of see it as like kind of cake batter. We'll add fried onions on it. Yep, it's happening. And then we will have a lemon slice or two, some green chilies, and and some garam masala. Okay, and that is a generous serving actually for what you'd have.
Yeah, beautiful.
Too.
So this can serve what, like 4 to 6 people?
Probably more. Consistency.
A lot.
Right?
Yeah.
And then we've got the chai. The other garnish ingredient is, I wouldn't call it zesty, but I guess that's the closest way to kind of describe raw ginger.
Yeah, I love the fact that it's raw. It's so nice.
You could add more broth.
Would we consider adding more broth and water to make it looser? Yes, we would. Ideally cake batter consistency, but if you leave it out on the kitchen counter or in the fridge, it's going to end up thicker, so you're always adjusting. Cake batter consistency is ideal.
where it's kind of pourable, like thick but pourable.
Yeah. So like thicker than a soup, right? But yeah.
Hey, any other chat questions?
Nope, that's it. You're getting lots of thumbs up.
Thumbs up.
Thank you. Thanks to everyone at home watching, and to Rana, Michael, and Jeff for the support. Yeah, and I guess we should all get to tasting it now.
We're getting to tasting it now. And join us next month. If this is your first time joining us for a food co-op cooking class, we have one every month. Next month is going to be all about cookies, so just in time for the holidays. Check it out on the website. Thank you, everyone. Have a great night.
Thank you.